gentlemen, I am Ross Skorzewski, host of the Dr. Patrick Flynn Show. Once again, it is a beautiful day here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I hope you're experiencing a beautiful day wherever you are. Today, once again, we are going to be spending the next 30 minutes going through wonderful questions, talking about amazing topics, and I get to do it with the man, the myth, the legend, my best friend, the one and only Dr. Patrick Flynn. So sit back, relax, buckle your seatbelts, because I promise you this, we are going to have another great episode for you today. Doc, talk to me. How you doing?
When do I get to introduce you as the one and only?
I don't, try it. Try it. Let me hear you do it. Come on.
I'm horrible at intros that way. That's why I have you, because I don't have to do the intro then that way. No, I've been awesome. Actually, we just out with our wonderful doc, Sampson Alex, out in Montana. Oh, my goodness. And I got to go see my sister, Natalie. But it was kind of interesting because I went because I left, and it was kind of neat. We had little snowflakes no, not Democrats, snowflakes, real snowflakes. Okay, we had snowflakes on Thursday morning when I got up. It was kind of nice.
Right out of the gate.
And then Friday morning, guess what happened? We actually started snowing pretty good. And my drive all the way to Washington,
from Montana to Washington,
snow.
Nice.
It was awesome. I'm going up the mountain, and it just keeps getting thicker and thicker. And
so you ready for it?
Snow?
Yeah.
No, we've been here our whole life.
I know,
but
I'm not ready for it. I mean, geez, we just had 80-degree weather just a few weeks ago, and snowflakes all the way.
It was amazing. And I got to go over there, but it was just that ride. I kid you not, if you saw my Facebook Live, what happens is I actually stopped. I took a video. It's absolutely gorgeous, you're saying? And being a country boy my whole life that way, watching it through there, it's like, oh, you just get away from the cities, even though Green Bay is not that big a city, but still a city.
Yep.
You start to get out there in God's country and just go, oh my goodness, beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Except for I actually decided to, walk into the river. It was a little chilly.
I can imagine it was.
I was like, oh my goodness. It was very cold.
Absolutely.
It's up like fresh like crazy. The air was pure. It was beautiful.
Well, why don't we do this real quick? Let's stop what we're about to do, and let's do one thing. Let's acknowledge everybody that's watching with us right now.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, we want to thank you once again for joining us for another episode. Continue to like and share. One of the things that we really pride ourselves in, I know that Doc does as well, is bringing you crucial and vital information.
Yep.
Why? To help change the way you think and approach taking control of your own health care. So if you believe in the message that's coming from this show, share it with your friends. Talk about it. Help this stuff kind of go viral, if you will. Because you know what? Without you, this show does not take place.
Right.
We're just two beautiful faces on a screen that bless Facebook with our presence. But without you, we have no show.
We need to do that for a new intro. We just found our new intro.
Oh, my gosh.
No, but the seriousness of it is the fact that, constantly I'm looking at our computer screens that way.
Yes.
We get so many questions. We get so many things. And speaking of saying hi to people, actually it's kind of cool. I got to sit through with patience with Dr. Sampson Alex, and I want to say hi to Laura. Laura, won't use her last name, but Laura was actually in there. It was kind of great. And it was interesting because she was asking me about, hormone testing and things that come out that way. And it was a great conversation. I'd love to have it. So hi, Laura.
Did she attend your hormone seminar?
Yes, she did. She sat in the back, right? I don't know if she thought I knew she was there because there was a ton of people. And I'm like, nope, she's right over there. So I said, so Laura, yes, I knew you were there. And the hormone seminar was amazing. It was great. And that's one thing, as I got to travel over, it's just down by Columbia.
Yes.
Last...
Dr. Jeremy Maxwell.
Yeah, Dr.
Maxwell
Jeremy.
Family Chiropractic.
And the funny thing is this. Every place I've been, I kid you not, if you go from Wisconsin to South Dakota to California to Montana to Columbia, Missouri to, Texas, man, I mean, you want to talk about, people talk about the United States and the culture. Do you want to talk about diverse cultures that are from one side to the other?
Yes.
I can't wait to go down by Dr. Kelvy and Dr.
Yes.
Kadena. It's like in their culture, the Southern Bells that way. And because different, I mean, we're talking the massive amount of difference of thinking.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But one thing that doesn't change, though, is their need for the information that is coming from your hormone seminar. Hey, I actually beat you to your own
point. You beat me to a
point.
punchline.
Imagine that. You spend enough time with a man, you can finish his sentence.
That's right. And here's the one thing that's universal. I do ask a question to everybody. I say, who wants to be healthy? And what happens is they all raise their hand.
Yes.
And I say, who wants their kids to be healthy? Everybody raise their hands. The one thing that is sad universally is everybody's concept of health. Everybody that's been, sick as a dog, everybody, for example, it doesn't matter what culture, background, religious, male, female, what happens is they have never been taught the most simplistic things about health, and they're all sick. They're all unhappy.
Yes.
I'm not a joke, because I've never met a very sick woman that's really happy.
Yes.
Because she is devastated. And vice versa, guys. You know, guys are the worst. They get a cold, they're not happy. They're like,
right.
like crazy. But it's not a joke. I meet the sickest people. People show up at the hormone seminar because they believe it's going to give them some direct answers to change their life, and it does. But really what happens is they realize that the hormones have a major effect on you physically, but also psychologically. And then it's turned into that big marriage aspect that way.
Absolutely.
And the amount of emails it gets. So it doesn't matter where you're from, guys. People want to be happy and healthy.
And people want to start experiencing a different result. They want to start experiencing that very thing that we talk about, and which all of the doctors within the Wellness Way talk about, and that is give us a chance to get you the clinical outcomes and results that you've been longing for and hoping for, but just are not getting. And to be honest with you, I think today, even more so than now, that people are hungry for information. But the question that even I had for you, because, you know, I did that interview with Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, who is going to be speaking at the Women's Extravaganza at Celebration Church in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in a couple weeks, November 4th. So for those of you that are here in the Green Bay area, or even in the state of Wisconsin, you want to come to an amazing event, come.
17 days.
Yeah, in 17 days. The Women's Extravaganza, Celebration Church, Green Bay, Wisconsin, November 4th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Admission is $10. You can see it on our website. Maybe they'll put it in the post as a link as well. But the one thing that I asked her in regards to the topic that she'll be speaking on is vaccinations, and even with the flu shot, but is people are hungry for information. Just like here when they come to your seminar, but how do we know they're getting the right information?
Sure. Well, remember, Tabitha, she's like, I love the show, knowledge is power. And I'm like, actually, I disagree with that statement.
Come on.
Knowledge is not a power.
What do you do
because
with
there's a lot of stupid people that know a lot of things.
Yes.
They just know the wrong things. Do you understand? So it's like you could know a lot, or on top of it, even if you know a lot, it's like this, you know, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny is going to be talking about vaccines.
Yes.
Do you know what the majority of people are going to do when they hear it? Because their grandma told them they were good, and because their pediatrician told them they're good, they're going to stick their head in the sand and be ignorant.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And be like, and try to, you know, and that's what they do. Because instead of saying, listen, what happened before, I can make a totally different direction. You understand? We do that in every area of life except for healthcare. We will change. Your marriage will be absolutely devastating and horrible. You go to counseling and do everything to change it. But then the minute you're sick as a dog, look at this. So there's people, ladies. So that's what it's like all day. Okay? Ladies, here's what happens. You'll sit in front of one of our doctors. You'll tell them how, you know, for example, how sick you are. Then you'll turn around and tell me how smart your doctor is.
Yes.
I'm like, your doctor's a freaking moron. Why do you think you're sitting here in front of me? You know what I'm saying? Or any of our docs.
Yes.
I laugh at this. It's like, and then we try to talk about going, okay, why do you put you on the drug? And then they get defensive.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you defensive for? You're taking something that could kill you. But see, that's the point.
Yes.
So when Dr. Sherry comes, or even some of the stuff that we do, I wish all of our questions and responses, actually, because we went for about a week of like 3 weeks with no hate mail.
Right.
that changed.
Yes,
Okay?
it does. Well,
but the idea is that's the thing. What comes about is like, you know, listen, the information we give you, for example, just zip it. You know, shut your pie hole.
Right.
Let it register. Sink in. Do you understand? And oh my goodness. We got a bunch of people on.
We do. Hey, it's Dr. Cody Senker. How are you doing, my man? It's good to see you.
Denise is on. Oh, my goodness.
Come on
Hello,
now.
Denise.
What is happening?
Do me a favor. If you guys do have
Yes.
questions or comments, comment below.
Put them in right now.
Sam. Also, for example, if you tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
That's one big thing. Tell us where you're
City
from. I'd
and
love to see it.
state.
It's kind of neat because when we get emails, they'll divulge everything. Doc, we're this, and this. We're 37 years old. Well, you don't have to be that detailed about it, but actually tell us where you're from. It'd be
Yes.
kind of nice to see. I'd like to say hi to you if I
But
did get a chance.
they should not, though, tell us where you're at while you're listening, because if you're at work and this is going on like a public, Facebook page, you're going to get found out right quick.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
like,
could possibly
what are
lead
you
to a
doing
pink slip.
listening to the thing? Dr. Flynn's on at noon. You're not on lunch.
That's
That's
right.
actually why we do it.
I know it, exactly. It's a beautiful thing. So even within that, though, I think that it's wonderful to see these people. Every day, Dr. Jeremy Shingen from Fond du Lac. It's beautiful. So thank you again, guys, for coming along and being a part of this.
Man.
But what's up, my man?
You get all. Why did my Facebook? I never get what you get.
Because I'm amazing.
It must be you get all the comments and I get nothing.
I got nothing too, man. Oh, Dr. Jason Nobles,
Exactly.
my brothers from another mother. So, what do you want to do today, man? Do you want to talk? Do you just want to?
Actually, we're actually going to.
Come on, where are we going tonight?
We're going to Minneapolis. Actually, the funny part is, Denise, we'll be over in your area. We're going to Minneapolis. I'm going to actually hang out with Dr. J, and you're going to hang out with
Dr. Sean.
Dr. Sean.
Yep.
We
over
got
in our Bloomington
guys,
office.
next week, Monday, okay, our Bloomington office over in Mississippi, not far from the Mall of America.
Not Mississippi.
Did I say Mississippi?
You sure did.
I mean, Minnesota.
But
Mississippi. Well, that's because I have all of my Mississippi, people.
Well, the Mississippi River cuts through.
Cuts through.
Minnesota.
Yes, Minnesota. Actually, who did Packers play this weekend?
Oh, last weekend they played the Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings did reign supreme at the end of that. And if you want to send hate mail, you can send it directly to me because I am a Vikings fan. And to be honest with you, I'm very sorry what happened with Aaron Rodgers. But not really.
I was going to say.
It's football. It was a legal hit. I don't want to hear about it.
That's right. Well, people lose their freaking minds over this.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm going to rant on this for.
Come on.
We got about 3 minutes. Guys, I know this is the thing is like this. I always, because I get so many questions about success and how to get there. Let me tell you, I had no clue that Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone until I watched all you numbskulls out there post about on Facebook like your life was so devastating.
I know.
I honestly mean this. If you can enjoy stuff with your family. I always tell people if you have a wife that loves football and kids that do great.
Yep, spend
but
that
if
time
you're
together.
an individual guy and you have a wife or kids and they care nothing about football and you're sitting there watching it for 3 hours
or 6
shame
or 9.
on you. Honestly, shame on you. Don't be crabby about your life, and don't complain that you want to do more in your life and sit watch because the Packers winning or Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. We never want to see him get hurt, so make that clear. But Aaron Rodgers getting hurt doesn't make any impact on your life.
That's right.
Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's the greatest time in Green Bay to actually go shopping. My wife and I do so much stuff during time because nobody's out because they're glued to
stores,
TV.
It's the best time.
And then what I did, I popped on Facebook, and you thought someone got killed.
I know.
And no, trust me, I never want to see anybody get injured. No. I want to see anybody get things, so make that very clear. But the idea is this. Aaron Rodgers breaking his collarbone means nothing to your life. It means that you can't fantasize about your pitiful aspect of what you're doing and can't not working yourself because you're so consumed in something that makes no difference in your life.
Might affect your fantasy numbers for your fantasy football team, but then again, at the end of the day, it's fantasy.
That's your job. No, but if it's your job, because there are people that make a living off fantasy football.
I suppose.
That's different.
Sure,
you can consume yourself in that way.
Absolutely.
I know I said I'm going to get all the hate mail from the Packer fans that way going, our Packer fans, okay, guess what? What does it do if you win?
But they wouldn't have said a thing if it was one of the queens.
One of the queens.
White queens.
Oh, white queens.
I'm just saying. Well, let's get back to something that's within our world because that's really what
that's within our world.
I know it is, especially with personal development, leadership, and growth because like you've even challenged us and our doctors within the wellness ways that what are you really doing to invest in yourself? Even on a Sunday afternoon, we always talk about that what you do today sets the stage for what?
Everything
Tomorrow.
going forward.
So if you're taking your Sunday, those of you that really want to pour into yourself for personal development and growth and set your week up to succeed. How do you do that with 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours of just sitting in front of the boob tube watching football?
Yep.
We say, take time, pour into yourself.
Reflect.
Absolutely. So anyways, not a rant. My family loves football. We'll watch a little bit of it when we can. But I'm done with that. Let's move on to a question, shall we?
We got a good question.
That's a good question. Here we go. Email comes and says, hi. Well, hi. Someone told me that they heard/read that dizziness was associated with menopause. Menopause. So does that have to do with men? I'm just kidding.
The way she spelled it.
Right. I have been experiencing a lot of dizziness for about a year. I turned 52 in April. They thought I had vertigo, but could never get me to have an episode when I was at physical therapy.
So trying to induce it.
Yep. I actually fainted and did a face plant, which is what started all of this. I think it was a year ago, but might have been 2 years ago. I don't remember. Well, that's just another issue. Foggy brain, memory issues, hair loss, trouble with weight loss, depression sometimes. What could hormones possibly have to do with this, if any? Is it possible that the dizzy stuff is from menopause? Thanks, Gene.
Biggest misconception in women's healthcare today, okay? And I actually get this. Thank God I took a picture of it because if I didn't, no one would believe me, okay? So one thing that I always tell people in my hormone seminar, for example, is even Mayo Clinic has it wrong when they actually talk about menopause. I think they caught wind that I was saying it. I'm not joking because they changed their website.
Did they really?
I went down it. I was actually over in Montana and I was showing a woman online. I'm like, okay, go to Mayo Clinic menopause. I'm like, holy crap, they took out the section that I criticized them about.
And that was
I'm not joking.
Many episodes ago that we did that, yes.
Yeah, but get this. No, I've been criticizing them for years about their definition. It's just that we made it public in a show that way. But honestly, guys, so if you do pop up Mayo Clinic's definition, and the reason why I bring up, here's the funny part is this. medical research and medical practice are very far apart. Do you understand? Read all the PubMed articles, thing going, man, if you look at the research and what doctors practice, they're way off. They really are. Because actually some of the research they have is absolutely amazing.
Spot on.
So what happened is in the definition of menopause is very simple, and they started off right. They talk about menopause is a natural biological process.
Which you say.
Absolutely.
Right.
They're right. You saying?
Imagine that.
If every one of you women right now, for example, let's say you're in your teenage years, let's say your 20s, 30s, if you live long enough, okay, with the exception of a young accident and you die, okay, every one of you women will transition from a cyclic stage to what?
Non-cyclic? I have no idea.
Which is what?
Me.
Menopause.
Menopause.
What are you talking about? You know all this.
Come on now.
You will actually do it. So all you have to do, okay, you can't stop it from coming. You can't pray it away. You can't drug it away. You can't do all those things. I know, it's just that for all our Christians. You know, saying, Lord, please. We love our faith, but you can't say You always say it's like I've actually, and the reason why I use that is I said I have women saying, God or Doc, I pray to God that He takes these symptoms away. I said, what happens is He did. He actually sent you here because here's what happens. If you live long enough, you're going to transition to that normal state of life. That's why it's defined as a natural biological process. Now, it's really funny because then right after the definition, once again, I agreed with 100%. It says that during that time, you can stay healthy, vital, and sexual. And I said, so women understand the natural biological process because they can reason through that.
Yes.
But when it talks about being healthy, vital, and sexual, that's why everybody's lost.
Because that's not what women are experiencing today, and that's not what people are talking about. That's not what's associated with menopause. It is one of the most hellish, I think, expected phases in life that women look forward to.
Then I come around and say, listen, it's easier to keep a woman healthy in menopause than it ever is when they're cyclic.
Because you already told us that you were able to do this with your mother.
Thousands of women.
And thousands of women. Yes.
No, but think about this, okay? No, let's even go through this.
Yeah.
Guys, now this is not a joke. I'm not giving it part of the seminar, right? But I want you to think about this. Is your wife, okay, if you look at just a normal hormone pattern for a woman, okay, a monthly pattern, actually, like I said,
28 to 30 days?
Roughly 28 to 32 days. It can range from 26 to 32 and still be extremely healthy, okay? But what happens is even in that window, fluctuating a little bit that way, your wife's hormones are different 4 times through that course of that month.
Which will freak any guy out, but it makes a lot of sense.
Well, see, and guys know that because guys know at one time they have a cycle, and other times they don't. That's the only thing they equate. Right. But they don't realize that there is a transition from estrogens and progesterone through that process. So once again, a woman knows this because even it's simple. I love this because I'll even say to women, I'll say, ladies, what happens to your breast sizes through the month? Nancy?
Why are you looking at me?
That's Nancy right there. Nancy, what happens to your breast size through the month? Do they stay the same or they change? They change. She said, every woman says this. It's really funny because women are they're so funny. Because what they'll do is they'll even say, Doc, sometimes my bra's full. Sometimes it's like it's missing some things in there.
The cup runneth over.
The cup will run over. That's pretty good. That was a good one. That's the first time I ever said it. But it's true.
I know, right?
See, so a woman understands, but they're never taught that. They see the physical change and go and then they look at a hormone chart and go, hey, guess what? That's true. That's normal. That's very normal. If you told a woman that her breast sizes were changing through the month were abnormal, they'd be like, what? That their uterine changes are changing is abnormal. They're like, what? That makes no sense. Right. This is what happens to our body. Guys don't understand this because we are like a flat line if we die. It's like, all the way across.
And then boom.
Yeah, and then boom, then you're dead, okay? Yeah. But here's the point. When you're in menopause, guess what? It doesn't change at all. It stays there just the same across as a man. It's much easier to keep those levels straight across, just like a man, than ever is as it transitions 4 times a month. So here's where the women make the biggest mistake. And that's why I found out in every culture, and I'm not joking, guys. I spoke in San Francisco where actually the majority of the crowd was actually Muslim. I'll come here in different places, Christians. I'll come down south, I guarantee the Bible Belt, it doesn't matter religion, right. It doesn't matter ethnicity, it doesn't matter if you're Spanish or if you're American or if you're English, it doesn't matter because what happens is that biological state is normal for everybody. Yes. That's the things that women go through.
Human existence for a woman.
Exactly. And then, but here's what happens. You transition into the process of menopause, guess what? It's normal. It's not. It's because here's what they do. They explain the definition of menopause being healthy, vital, and sexual. And they say, and guess what? It just ends fertility. But then in the next following paragraph, what do they do? But the symptoms of menopause,
here we go.
There's the lie.
Yes.
There's the deception. Do you understand? Because what they'll do is this. I say, well, it's interesting because I can give you names of so many women through the years, and so can our docs, that guess what? That they may have came in with, quote, those menopause symptoms, and we will never call it that because it's not true. And then all of a sudden, what happens? And I love this. I love this when we did a show on this, where docs say, well, it's genetic. That's why you go through all the symptoms. We've heard that.
We've already talked about
whole
okay? Concept, right?
Well, then all
genetics.
of a sudden, if you go into an office and you get those hormones back to normal, and all of a sudden, all those symptoms go away. And so my response is this. Look we changed their gene pool.
Yeah, right.
And see how stupid that sounds?
Yes.
We sound idiotic saying that. So the question set up, the woman's already going in asking the wrong question. So it's a great question, but because of the mindset, see, we can never figure out a problem with the same level of thinking that got us into that problem. Mm-hmm. Think about that. That's why people say, well, my doctor said. I don't care what your doctor said. Your doctor actually thinks very differently. And if he's so freaking smart, why do you have cancer? I love this. I love this part of it that way. I love when people get cancer and they tell me how smart their doctor is. Really? Honestly? Come on.
That's right.
I'm sorry. We started this show because I got so fed up with the thinking.
Yes.
And then people are giving bad advice.
Right.
And just because they have big hospitals, big deal.
So should this question really start out like, Doc, listen, I know you've talked about that the body is genetically set up to succeed in this normal concept of health. So the symptoms that I'm experiencing, like foggy brain, memory issues, hair loss, trouble with weight loss, could that possibly have to do with an imbalance internally?
Absolutely. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. So it doesn't matter if you're psychic, because see, a lot of these women are going, Doc, I'm not even menopausal and I have those symptoms. You're right, because there is a hormonal, there is an inflammatory issue. There could be, and the one thing that pops in the mind when I first looked at her, had her email that way, is once again, her adrenals.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? You talk about hormonally. Well, if you think about it this way, even the dizziness that way, once again, we kind of giggle at this. There's different diagnostic tests. I always tell people, do you want to actually make your blood pressure drop really quickly by just not listening to a doctor and actually, because they'll say, you have high blood pressure. And I'm like, okay, I can make it change in seconds. Like, Doc, what do you give them? No, I'm just going to test them properly.
There you go.
Now, let me explain. Well, it's really funny. If you look at the 120/80, which guys, your normal blood pressure is not 120/80. What they did is they took an average. Like, for example, a lot of people say your average temperature is 98. No, your normal temperature is 98.6. No, it's not. Yours is not 98.6. What they did is they took a group of people and they came down to this average. But this is how medicine does it. They could transform average to normal.
Hot.
Do you understand?
Yep.
Same thing with blood pressure. So do you understand that blood pressure-wise, look at it diagnostically. Do you understand that, guess what? That blood pressure is supposed to be taken after you've been laying down for 15 minutes.
That never happens.
Exactly.
Never happens.
Even when you go to those stupid things in the mall and put your blood pressure in, you're sitting up.
Yes.
Their average is based on you resting. That's why it's called resting blood pressure.
And after walking around the mall for
you're walking around, my blood, or sitting, or you're scared out of your mind in the doctor's office for a thing.
Just had a cup of coffee.
So I tell people, you want a blood pressure drop? Come here, we'll measure properly. We'll lay you down for 15 minutes. We'll take a blood pressure and tell you what it really is that way. And then on top of it, you still have to monitor over the course of 6 months to get a true reading because of all the things that can make it change.
Yes.
Okay? So that's the big thing. So when you look at the adrenals, do you understand that your body your adrenals produce some catecholamines, once again, just a hormone you can look up, because what it does, it causes vasoconstriction. With weak adrenals, guess what happens? You can't get the catecholamines produced, your vasoconstriction doesn't happen, blood flow doesn't get to the head. That's why when people just even sit up, they get dizzy. Why? Because your blood pressure is supposed to rise. It is. Do you understand, guys? If you're laying down and sitting, some people have felt dizziness. And the reason why they're dizziness is because their blood pressure drops and they can't get enough blood flow to the head.
So that rapid.
That's right. So that's why when people they even do a tilt test that way. You know what I'm saying? And really, it's your adrenals. Now, one thing I would tell people, it's really hilarious. Guys, let me give you a little trick. This is not a joke, okay? One of the easiest ways to tell if your woman's stressed out is guess how?
Sit next to her? Your presence? I don't know.
Look into her eyes.
You're going to say the pupils are going to tell a story?
The pupils tell you a big story. If the pupils are dilated, walk on eggshells.
I am going to start using this at the office.
I do all the time.
Every day.
I know. When you work with women all day and you deal with women, that's why, ladies, I hate to tell you this, but I've done this for years, but I don't practice that much anymore, so you can't do it. I actually reach their hand, and I look them right straight in the eyes. And they're thinking I'm being attentive. No, I'm trying to say, okay, how do I speak to you? It's not a joke. But see, the body works this way, guys.
Wait.
It's not a joke. It works this way. It really does.
I'll be like, look into my eyes.
Into my eyes. Yes. I'm not joking. Turn around if you're with somebody right now. Look into their eyes.
Yes.
Because right now with bright lights coming on, actually, no joke. It's a pupillary reflex test. You want to know if your adrenals are weak? This is a great diagnostic test. Look it up. I kid you not. That's what I tell people. The internet is one of the greatest things because you don't have to believe me.
Yes.
Just type in, you can actually look at the pupillary reflex test. Actually, a neurologist does it on YouTube. It's kind of cool. You actually take a little flashlight, you put it into their eye. By normal responses, your pupils will dilate. If you're deficient hormonally, catecholamine-wise, if your adrenals are getting stressed, it'll start to shudder and open up a little bit. And that's why people that have adrenal stress, actually what happens, they're kind of sensitive to light a little bit.
Yes.
And they also can actually trigger a headache really easy too.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? See, so once again, now you say, Doc, you're giving the responses to what the body does when there's some deficiencies. Yeah, and I haven't even tested you yet.
Yes, and that's the key part about all of this, though, is really getting yourself to a place. If you're going to ask the question, be willing to follow through with the answer that's been given. We even talked about that today.
Yes.
Because people come to you, whether it's business, personal, growth, and also clinical, they come to you, what should
knowledge.
I do, Doc, to get knowledge, right? But then do nothing with it. So
Or fight you.
Or fight you, because...
It's like, I got to say this. I got to rant. I got 2 more minutes. I got to rant. It's not a joke, because this is going to be horrible for most of you guys to really take this. I'm not joking. But it's time to do some butt kicking. I'm in a butt kicking mood today.
Here we go. It's a true story.
Did you ever do this? I mean this sincerely, okay? I think, let's go back to football. Let's relate to you people that are obsessed about football, or any sport that way. It's called the Monday morning quarterback. Mm-hmm. Let me give you this example.
That's a good point, though.
Who should ever be critical of Aaron Rodgers if you've never hit his level? Honestly, how can a commentator that has never been a quarterback, never did what Aaron Rodgers did to get there, really what they should do is say, guess what? Recognize him for his talent, shut up, and don't criticize him because you've never been there. If you've never been to a level somebody's at, shut your mouth and be more inquisitive.
But if they only would have done this,
yeah, that's why they call them Monday morning quarterbacks, because they're sitting on their butt and they think they could, or they played in high school at one time. Uncle Rico syndrome. That is funny.
Football over that mountain.
That's right. That's the point. It's like, listen. So when you see somebody, like I said, that's why it's really interesting. People that are growing, people that actually they don't have knowledge. Actually, what happens is the people that are growing the most actually ask the most questions. They're the biggest learners.
Yes.
You understand? They want to learn what's going on. They want to see how they can get to that level in no matter what area of life. Okay.
So good, but that's just the problem, though.
And our video ended.
Did the video end? All right, we're going to finish. So, all right, anyways, but it's still to that point, though. If we're going to give you information in regards to the emails that are being sent, take the information, act upon it. Don't just sit and ponder it. Don't just let it be great information that is stored up in your cranium. Actually put some action
to it.
That's
right. People's ambitions are much higher than their actions ever are.
Absolutely. And I would say that most people's ambitions in this scenario is to what? Be healthy.
Yeah. But then what happens is they're still going to drink soda.
Absolutely.
And then they're not going to get their test done.
Absolutely.
And this, but I want to be healthy.
Food. They're going to go to, McDonald's, they're going to go to Subway and all these other places, but
it's like people say, Doc, I don't have any money. No, you just spend everything you have. You saying, want to have more money? Spend less.
That's right.
You're saying, no, Doc, I got this. No, honestly, because, it's really funny. I always tell this as far as a culture thing. Talk about cultures. Do you understand? It wasn't until really the DREAM Act and all these things that, for example, for housing that people said, otherwise, for generations, families live together.
Yes.
Now everybody has their own house. Guess what happens? How do we get on that today?
I have no idea.
Like, you can find a way.
You can find a way. But once again, thank you for tuning in this week. I know we were all over the place with great comments and great conversations. Yes. Some of it raw and unscripted, as it always will be. And maybe it created a little bit of a spark inside of you to ask that next question. So please do so. Go to askdrpatrick at twwclinics.com. And we look forward to seeing you next week.